You know, the buzz around AI is absolutely electric. But there's this one huge question hanging over every single breakthrough. Is all this growth real and sustainable? Or are we just watching another massive tech bubble inflate, ready to pop? Well, let's get into it.
So yeah, it's the multi-trillion-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, everywhere you look, valuations are just skyrocketing, and you can feel the hype in the air. But to really figure out if this is a bubble, we might be measuring the wrong thing completely. And this is where the legendary investor Vinod Khosla comes in with a totally different way of looking at it. He basically argues that all the frantic buying and selling on Wall Street, that's just noise. It's fear and greed doing their thing. The real signal, the actual measure of AI's value, is how many people are actually using it.
This actually brings up a fascinating parallel to the dot-com era. I mean, think back to that time. Stock prices went on this absolutely wild ride, right? And then crashed spectacularly. But if you ignored all that market chaos and just looked at the underlying internet traffic, the actual usage, it never stopped growing. It was just the steady upward climb. Khosla's point is that we're seeing the exact same pattern today. While the markets go up and down, the real demand for AI, the thing we measure in API calls, is only going in one direction, up.
Okay, so that brings us to the next really crucial point here. The main thing holding AI back right now isn't a lack of interest or demand. Nope, it's a physical limitation. There is a global shortage of the raw computing power these models need to run.
And check this out. The data from OpenAI's CFO, Sarah Fryer, it just paints such a clear picture. As the company poured money into its compute capacity, which is basically the sheer processing power it has, its revenue didn't just follow, it accelerated. This isn't some speculative bet, it's a direct response to real, overwhelming paying demand. And right there, that's the key takeaway. The industry isn't just building this stuff and hoping people will come. It's completely the other way around. The demand is already here, and it's so massive that companies literally can't build data centers fast enough to keep up. They are, in a word, compute constrained.
So if demand isn't the problem, then what is? Well, we've got this incredibly powerful new technology, but we're all just starting to figure out what to do with it. This is what people are calling the capability gap.
Sarah Fryer has this awesome analogy for it. She says it's like we've all just been handed the keys to a Ferrari. We have this machine with just unbelievable potential. But most of us, we're still just learning how to drive it around the block in first gear. You know, using it for simple questions and answers. The real power is still just sitting there, completely untapped.
You know, a great way to think about this is the evolution of the mobile phone. When smartphones first came out, what did we do? We just crammed clunky desktop websites onto a tiny screen. It took years before developers started thinking differently, using the phone's unique features like GPS to create Uber or the camera for mobile check deposits. It just proves that human ingenuity needs a little time to catch up with a new technology's capabilities.
So just how big is this gap? Well, get ready for this. Vinod Khosla estimates that less than 10% of users are tapping into even a third of what today's AI can already do. Think about that. That means there's this enormous room for growth, even if the models never got a single bit smarter. The value is already there, it's just waiting for us to unlock it.
But look, this isn't all just about some far-off future potential. AI is already delivering real, measurable value in the real world right now as we speak. Okay, so let me give you a perfect real-world example from Sarah Fryer's own finance department. The old way, you had people manually reading just endless contracts, a super tedious, soul-crushing job. Now, an AI agent does it all, overnight, and it doesn't just find problems, it actually suggests solutions and even uncovers strategic business insights. And here's the crucial part. The team is now smaller, way happier, and focused on work that actually matters.
And believe me, this isn't some one-off case. A recent McKinsey study found that the top-performing companies using AI are seeing productivity gains as high as 33%. That's not a small improvement. That is a revolutionary leap in how business gets done.
And the proof just keeps piling up. We're talking about a company with a single accountant handling $150 million in revenue. A sales rep who's outperforming an entire team of 10. 2/3 of all doctors in the US using AI to help them in their work. Consulting firms where one person now manages the work of 5 AI agents. This is real, tangible value being created, and it's happening at a massive scale.
Okay, so if that's what's happening today, where is this all going? Well, the long-term implications are, frankly, even more profound. We're heading towards a fundamental shift in our entire economic structure.
Over the next few years, we're going to see AI agents get much, much better, automating complex tasks like planning your next vacation or running corporate finance. By the mid-2030s, Khosla predicts the bipedal robotics industry is going to be bigger than the entire car industry is today. And all of that leads to a totally new reality by the 2040s.
Which brings us to this term, a massively deflationary economy. Okay, what on earth does that mean? Well, it's a world where the two most expensive things in our economy, human labor and human expertise, become so abundant and so cheap that their cost approaches zero. Think about it. Intelligence itself becomes a utility, like electricity flowing through a wire.
The potential upside for society here is just staggering. Imagine getting world-class primary medical care for $1 a month. A personalized AI tutor for every single child on the planet, perfectly tailored to how they learn. The sum of all human knowledge, instantly available and understandable to absolutely anyone. This is the promise of what some are calling an economy of abundance.
But a shift this radical forces us to have an even more fundamental conversation. As Khosla puts it, it's not about how people are going to make a living, it's about what they will choose to do with their time and with their lives.
So, let's circle back. Are we in an economic bubble? The evidence suggests it's something way, way bigger. A full-blown technological and economic revolution. The real question isn't about stock prices anymore. It's about us. In a world where the cost of work and knowledge just plummets, what becomes truly valuable? And what will we choose to do?